Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you will follow you long after this video ends. Not like a memory, but like a shadow. There is a reason you feel lost. There is a reason you feel stuck. There is a reason you live your life as if you're walking inside a fog, seeing silhouettes of who you could be, but never touching them. That reason is not out there. It's not society. It's not your family. It's not your past. It's you, or rather, the version of you that you've allowed to rule your life, the mask, the echo, the imposter you call yourself, the one that speaks the loudest when you're alone, the one that whispers excuses in the dark, the one that wants comfort more than clarity, distraction more than discipline, dopamine more than destiny. Listen closely, because the part of you that fears this message is the part that has been running your life. And tonight, I'm here to expose it. The false self, the imposter living in your mind. You are not born confused. You are made confused, piece by piece, lie by lie, expectation by expectation. At some point in your life, you stopped being you and started being the version of yourself that was safest, not strongest, not smartest, not truest, safest. The boy who learned that being honest led to rejection. The teenager who learned that fitting in was easier than standing out. The young man who learned that hiding his ambition kept him from being mocked. And so, the real you was buried, and the mask took his place. A mask built with what other people expected of you, what society told you was acceptable, what your fears told you was possible. Listen closely, because the longer you wear this mask, the more it becomes your prison. You are living with a ghost. You think you're alone in your mind. You're not. You're living with a ghost that imitates you, a ghost that speaks with your voice, a ghost that pretends to protect you, but only protects your limitations. This ghost has one job: keep you comfortable, keep you small, keep you predictable. You ever wonder why you sabotage yourself right when you're close to progress? It's because the ghost inside you survives through your failure. You ever wonder why you fear success more than failure? It's because success threatens the ghost's existence. You ever wonder why discipline feels like pain, but regret feels familiar? It's because regret is the ghost's home. This ghost, this imitation of you, has been running your life for years. And it has a name ancient, a name universal, a name you've heard 1,000 times, but never understood. Its name is ego, the ego, the architect of the matrix. Your ego is not your confidence. It's not your pride. It's not your identity. Your ego is the blindfold that keeps you from seeing who you truly are. It creates a simulation, a psychological matrix, where you are always the main character, even when you haven't earned the role. It gives you comfort without growth, dreams without action, self-importance without self-awareness, opinions without experience, validation without victory. The ego makes you feel right instead of making you become real. Listen closely. The ego feeds you lies that feel good, so it can protect truths that would set you free. It would rather keep you comfortable than let you evolve. It would rather keep you dreaming than see you doing. It would rather keep you fantasizing about potential than facing the pain required to unlock it. That's why some of you watch videos like this, but change nothing. Your ego listens to self-improvement content, like entertainment, not instruction. Because if you ever actually changed, it would die, and it knows it. The filter of lies. Why you don't hear the truth. There are things you already know you need to do, habits you know you need to stop, standards you know you need to raise. So why don't you? Because your ego acts as a filter, a censor, a manipulator. You don't hear the world as it is. You hear it as the ego needs it to be. Let me show you how it works. You hear discipline, the ego hears pain. You hear responsibility, the ego hears blame. You hear truth, the ego hears threat. You hear change, the ego hears death. Your ego deletes every truth that threatens its survival. That's why advice that could free you is the same advice you reject. That's why you forget the promises you made to yourself. That's why you repeat the same mistakes. Even when you swear you're done, Your ego is not stupid. It is strategic. It is ancient. And it has been evolving inside the human mind for thousands of years. But there is one thing, one force, that the ego has never been able to defeat. The archetype of truth. The Jesus paradigm. Don't think of Jesus as a religious figure for a moment. Think of him as a symbol, the ultimate archetype of clarity. A man who walked through the world, completely free from illusion. A man who spoke truth, even when it cost him everything. A man who refused to bow to the ego, his own or anyone else's. Look at the stories. They're not just spiritual, they're psychological. Every time Jesus confronted someone, he wasn't fighting the person, he was fighting their ego. The Pharisees, not evil men, just slaves to their own spiritual pride. The rich young ruler, not a bad man, just owned by his identity. The crowd, not blind, just addicted to comfort. Jesus didn't bring belief, he brought awareness. He brought a mirror so clean that the ego couldn't survive its reflection. Listen closely. The path of Christ wasn't about religion. It was about ripping the mask off, about choosing truth over convenience, about killing the false self so the real one could rise. And this is why his teachings still cut through time. Whoever wants to save his life will lose it. Translation, whoever protects his ego dies spiritually. The truth will set you free. Translation, the ego hates truth because truth destroys the illusions it needs to survive. Jesus wasn't presenting theology. He was presenting psychological warfare. A war you are losing every day. You choose comfort over clarity. The cage you built and how to break it. Let me tell you something. No one around you has the courage to say, you are not tired. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are overfed with distractions and starved of truth. Your life has been moving in circles because your ego only allows you to walk inside a cage, shaped like a treadmill. But here's the secret. The cage is unlocked. It always has been. The bars were never real. Only the fear behind them was. So how do you break free? Not with motivation, not with affirmations, not with positivity. You break free with brutal honesty. You break free by standing in front of the mirror and refusing to look away. You break free by questioning every identity you've built. That was designed to protect your comfort instead of your calling. You break free when you stop negotiating with your weaknesses and start humiliating your ego. You break free when you understand this truth. The version of you that you want to become already exists. You just haven't killed the version blocking the door. The rebirth, your choice. Listen closely, because everything leads to this. The life you want, the discipline you want, the strength you want, the clarity you want, the peace you want. You're not here to improve. You're here to transform, to shed the imitation, to burn the mask, to resurrect the real self that has been buried underneath years of fear. And no one can do this for you. Not your family, not your friends, not your mentors, not even God. The choice is yours, right here, right now. Do you stay a prisoner, or do you rise a man? Do you keep feeding the ghost, or do you starve it until it dies? Do you keep living the lie, or do you step into the truth? Listen closely, because this is the moment every man meets himself. The final words, your next move. Now you have a choice. You can close this video, go back to your distractions, and return to the cage you know so well. Or you can take the first step toward killing the version of yourself that has been stealing your destiny. If you're ready for that journey, if you're ready for the uncomfortable truth, the psychological warfare, the death of the ego, and the rise of the real self, subscribe. Stay here. Walk with us. No dopamine, no comfort, no lies. Only truth, only discipline, only evolution. This is the place where the false self dies and the real man is born. Subscribe and step into the dark.